Hey folks, Inclusive Designs here, and this is part 5 of the Hobby Boss 1/35th scale Canadian Leopard 2A4 tank build. So as you can see, it is looking like a tank now. It's really coming along fast, and very happy with how this is turning out. I was very surprised to know how much work this was going to be. When I first originally bought that kit there, I thought, hey, yeah, this is going to be a simple build, and throw a maple leaf on it and call it Canadian. And no way, Jose. And but you know what? Very happy how this is turning out. Wasn't really expecting to have to sacrifice my 2A4M kit, but luckily I have a second 2A4M, so you will see a Canadian 2A4M build on this channel that will come later. But luckily I did have this kit to make a true Canadian 2A4 model. So very happy how this is turning out. I mean, the build's not over yet, obviously, but building a true Canadian 2A4 has definitely been a privilege and an honor. So very happy how this is turning out so far. So let's just dive in here and see what we've done. So I got the anti-skid on. Unlike the top turret, you're not going to get away, at least I didn't, with masking. It just doesn't really work, especially with all these little parts in the way. It's just easier painting it freehand, one by one. And if you happen to get a little bit of paint bleed in between these parts, once it dries, just take your X-Acto knife and scrape it away. Not too hard, so you're scratching away all your your paint, like the green paint, but like again, if you get a little bit of black in between, just scrape it away. And that's what I did. I just scraped it away. And, there's obviously a lot of sections. Now, from the reference pictures that I've seen, we just basically threw one big sheet. Like, see how there's this, cuts in between? From some of the pictures that I've seen, basically our anti-skid was just like one big square and then one big square. But because of this model, the way it's built, like the way the cut lines are, it would look kind of silly. So I just painted it as the cut lines were. Otherwise, it would look a little silly. So it might not be 100% accurate that way, but it would look better if you paint it this way, in my opinion. And some other pictures that I've seen kind of do have it cut. So again, your choice. So I did do it this way. And it gives it a little more life this way too. So, again, your choice, but I did it this way. For here, these little sections here, there's no cut line, so to speak, or, dummy line. So you're going to have to do that yourself for those black ones right there. And again, for that one right there, you have to do that one yourself. So that's very simple. And again, they're all over the tank. There's some underneath the turret. I just wanted to throw the turret in for this video. But it's coming along real nice, as you can see. I haven't done a wash for this one yet, with the Starship Filth mixed in with a green with the Orderless Turpenoid, just because I wanted to get the decals on. But we'll talk about that in a second. But I did do a wash for this right here, so it matches the turret, and then through the flat over top. So as you can see, it matches the turret now just right. And that's just to do the panel lines and such, to get inside the panel lines. As you can see, the camera might not be picking up all the detail, but in person, the detail's there. And then there is some PE sets to go over top here, but I'm going to do that later, just because the PE sets chip easy. So I'm going to wait till probably the end before I throw those on. And those will weather differently as well, because obviously, with the temperatures coming out of there and stuff, I'm just going to be, like in real life, those will weather differently anyway. So I'll do something different with those. But it is coming along really nicely. And of course, I got the discoloration there. I'll be working with that later on. Of course, the antennas will come later, because knowing me, if I throw them on now, I'll end up breaking them off. And then, of course, the Pioneer tools will come on. Those go on the back, the machine guns, the track pieces. Once all that stuff starts coming on, and then the windows, it's really going to start taking shape. And then we'll really get into the weathering, and then it's going to look really sharp. I used the decals from the 2A4M kit. Again, if it wasn't for this 2A4M kit, this 2A4 Canadian just wouldn't have happened. You know, when I originally, bought this kit here, I thought, hey, yeah, I'll buy this kit, throw a Canadian maple leaf on it and, call it a day. And, that was before doing a lot of research, and that just wasn't the case. Thank goodness I had the 2A4M kit. I do have another 2A4M kit, so you will see a Canadian 2A4M build on this channel. But again, thank goodness I have two of these kits. Otherwise, again, you wouldn't have seen this 2A4 Canadian happen, because there's just so many pieces from this kit that I had to use to build this, as you've seen already. At least to build an accurate one anyway. But anyway, talking about the decals, I took the ones from the 2A4M kit. A little bit of modifying, just not too much. They had a black border on this decal that had to be removed, just to make it more accurate, at least from the pictures that I've seen. So it's just simple cutting a black border around and then slapping it on. And then there's one at the back here. I don't want to get in too close, and of course it's upside down, but right here, same thing. They had a black border around it. I just got the black border around it and put it on. I'm not too worried about the numbers. You could change the numbers around, but I'm not going to be too worried about the numbers and stuff like that, because with a little bit of weathering and stuff like that, you're not even going to be able to tell what tank numbers it is. So now that that's dry, for this bottom part of the hull, the only thing left for me to do with this piece here is I'm going to put a little bit of a semi-gloss over top of it just to seal in the decals. And then with the same thing I did with the top piece here, I'm going to use the odorless Turpenoid with the Starship Filth mixed in with a little bit of the green, and do that wash. Same thing with that. And then once it's dry, I'm going to put a flat over top of it, let it sit, and then we'll work with the road wheels, and then obviously I'll do the wash with the road wheels and then the tracks, and then I'll marry this together, and then we can start with the real weathering. Obviously, once all the other parts are on, start with the weathering and such, and then put the crew in, and then we'll start with the diorama, and then we'll have ourselves a nice Canadian 2A4 model. So there we go. It's really coming along. Obviously, it's really starting to look like a Canadian 2A4 now. So thanks so much for watching. This is really turning out to be a beautiful model. So thanks so much for all your support, guys. I look forward to your comments on this. So please like, share, and subscribe, and have a good one. Bye.